The Nigerian entertainment and creative industry has no doubt experienced massive growth over the last few years, accounting for about 1.45% of Nigeria's gross domestic product. Nollywood is globally recognized as the second largest film producer in the world, coming behind America's Hollywood and ahead of India's Bollywood, while 27-year-old Afrobeat singer Temilade Okpeni, popularly known as Tems, recently received her first ever Grammy Award, following the likes of African giant Burna Boy and Starboy Wizkid in winning music's most prestigious award, a testament to the growth of the Nigerian music industry. But what can be done to further replicate the growth of the entertainment and creative sector across board? Well, presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has an answer. In this exclusive feature, he shared his vision for the creative industry and why he thinks that he is the best man for the job of Mr. President.
Culture of criminality, culture of no-fuel, culture of price increase, culture of no electricity, culture of poverty. That is the culture we want to throw away.
He has been described as a social media president and one who has no structure, but he has used that to his advantage, emerging as one of the leading candidates in the upcoming presidential election of Africa's most populous nation. What are his chances?
The people of Southeast have had an opportunity of serving Nigeria since independence of Nigeria. Every other section of Nigeria have had the opportunity. If anybody is going to talk turn, it's me. But I'm not running because it's the turn of Southeast. I'm running because I'm Peter Obi, who believes that I'm the best candidate for this election.
Born in Onitsha in 1961, Peter Gregory Obi has changed the face of politics in Nigeria, utilizing his massive youth following, known as the Obedience, a movement that is seeking a new wave of good governance to disrupt the old order. At 61 years old, Peter Obi, a former governor of Anambra State from 2006 to 2014, is the youngest candidate among the leading contenders, bringing hope to a generation of Nigerians that are desperate for change.
Mr. Peter Obi, even if you win, which we know you're going to win, and you don't do well, we, the Nigerian people, will sack you, we will fire you.
In an interactive session with a select group of entertainers and influencers in Lagos, Nigeria, Peter Obi used the opportunity to engage with the drivers of the Nigerian creative industry.
You have opportunity of being part of what we're doing. You have opportunity of creating this. Go and tell your colleagues. It's not about anything. It's not about people dashing you people money. It's not about somebody telling you story. Most of us who are going to tell you this, you now live in a place where people will tell you Peter Obi is stingy. Yes, stinginess is part of capital formation.
There is a saying.
How are you? I'm upstairs. I had a conversation with the Labour Party presidential candidate, and he shared his grand vision for a new Nigeria and the entertainment industry. Mr. Peter Obi, thank you so much for joining me on the program. It's amazing, this whole interactive session you've had with the entertainers. You know, I saw you recently commend Tems for her first Grammy Award win. I'd like to know what your plans are for the future of entertainment in Nigeria.
Well, when we talk about the issue of removing Nigeria from consumption to production, it is not just production in terms of what we say we're going to do with agricultural revolution, leading to industrialization, leading to exports, leading to trade and everything. It encompasses every sector, which includes sports, entertainment. These are critical areas we need to develop, where we already have talents that we can scale up, invest more to attract more into that sector. Countries have used sports and entertainment to stabilize, improve their economy, and put their people out of poverty, which in turn reduces criminality. So the entertainment industry, Nigeria is already one of the, what they can call global name in entertainment. Everywhere you go on the continent of Africa, everywhere in the world, people watch Nollywood.
Yes.
Same thing goes with even our musicians and everything. So it is time to be able to help them to scale up what they're doing and be able to employ more people.
Now, when you say, you've always talked about moving Nigeria from consumption to production, how in concrete terms do you plan to do this? And what ideology drives this? Is it capitalism or socialism?
Well, first is capitalism, I won't say socialism. But they have some socialist content in the sense that what drives it is that today you can't feed yourself. So you use your scarce resources, foreign exchange, to import food. When you have vast uncultivated land, you have vast youth unemployment, which if you invest in agricultural revolution, you will be able to employ more people. Because agriculture is today the greatest contributor to your GDP and the greatest employer of labor. But it's not even doing enough. You need to increase that space because your GDP, your productive activities today is low. So you need to increase that. To increase it, you need to invest in that which is giving you more. And that produce, in order to be able to deal with the entire value chain, moves it to industrialization. Because the raw material for your industry is now being produced. Use it in industry, and that leads to, again, today your industries are contributing less than 10% of your GDP, and it's low. So by the time you move your industry to contribute towards what they contribute today, they create jobs, and that will lead to export. And when it leads to export, you earn more foreign exchange, which will stabilize your currency. So you could see, with agriculture, you feed yourself, you bring down the food inflation, which is your biggest. You have feedstock for your industries, you have exports, which will drive export. In the end of the day, that's production I'm talking about. And people in entertainment industry will do the same thing if we invest in them. They have a lot to do with the entertainment that will be exported in organized manner. Again, you earn foreign exchange from there. Same thing goes with your sports. Imagine so many people participating in sports everywhere,
right,
and earning dollars.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
So you have at various times expressed optimism about winning the forthcoming election. One thing I got from that interactive session that we had was the fact that you said that don't think about voting for Peter Obi, think about voting for yourself. Where does this optimism come from?
Well, because I believe that this election is an existential election that calls for a generational change.
Yeah.
I've said it before, for the first time, there is in Nigeria an opportunity for an election where a party participating in the election is presenting people with character, people with competence, capability, compassion, the physical and mental energy to do the job. For the first time, have a combination of party chairman, presidential candidate, vice presidential candidate, being people that were born after the independence. We must have a generational change. We must build a new Nigeria. That's what I'm committed about. A Nigeria where Nigerians will not say, I'm from East, West, North, or South. Where they will not say they're Muslims or Christians, but they're Nigerians, and they're happy. That's why I'm going to invest in entertainment, in sports, in all those factors that unite us.
Yes.
We make it productive, where people start learning to match up the opportunity. That's why I'm going to go to the north and make sure that all those cultivated lands are cultivated, start pulling people out of the poverty, have a feedstock for industries that have been shut down. If you go to a place like Kano today, it's become a ghost of what it used to be.
What do you
From
say
Bombay Industries,
Right.
Shadam 1, Shadam 2, 3, all industrial areas are shut down.
What do you say to those who believe that you will not get enough votes from people in the north?
Well, because all they've been doing is to contrive all those things that make them in the past win and subject them to poverty. Talk about their religion, talk about their ethnicity, but they've seen that it didn't work because they're poorer. That's why the fact that they follow them like that. And I'm saying to them, the election should not be about your religion. I respect the religious diversity of Nigeria. And that is sacrosanct. I respect every religion. And I believe that Christians, Muslims should live peacefully. And I must maintain that. I must make sure that each other's religion is respected and everything. I like people to go back and say, this is my ethnic background, but it shouldn't be measured when it comes to consideration of Nigeria. I don't want the election to be run on my tongue. If anybody's going to talk turn, it's me. But I'm not running because it's the turn of Southeast. I'm running because I'm Peter Obi, who believes that I'm the best candidate for this election.
Why do you say that if anybody, it should be your turn?
Because the people of Southeast have had an opportunity of serving Nigeria since independence of Nigeria. Every other section of Nigeria have had the opportunity, except us.
And now tell me, why should Nigerians put their trust in you?
Because there's a traceable record, past record you can verify. I'm a successful businessman, and I started a business from scratch and built it to a point of success. I've been a successful person in the corporate world, and I've been in government. In fact, nobody have my combination in this race. I started business from scratch, built a business that is successful without any influence and everything. I've been in the corporate world where I was the director and chaired corporations. Nobody has this combination. In terms of education, I've been to good schools. I might not have the best of degrees, like people can claim anything they claim, but I've been to the best schools in the world. I've had trainings from Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, Kellogg, IMD, London School of Economics, name them. You know, going through these schools, even if it's just for 1 week, 2 weeks, makes all the difference. In Seattle, in France, where haven't I been? I've been everywhere, and they are documented. So I've been to trainings, so I understand what it means. And I've been able, in terms of governance, I have governed the state for 8 years, and I can say that that state, I know where it was when I started and where I left it. And I've been able to show that the only measure of development, Millennium Development Goals, or HDI, which is education, health, and pulling people out of poverty, are this very well. And above all, their money was not missing. You know, whatever you can accuse me of, I left $150 million and over 30 billion naira and invested about the same amount. Nobody, I wasn't under any obligation. Nobody put a gun. There was no requirement. There was no need. Nobody put a gun on my head. And this is why, at times when things happen in this country and people argue, I get worried. I did that without any condition. But I believe is the right thing to do.
Absolutely. I spoke with one of the entertainers, Peter Obi. He said Mr. Peter Obi, if you do not deliver everything that you have promised, we would fire you.
I think so. It should be so. I believe that it's time for Nigerians to get up and say, we voted you because you promised A, B, C, D, F. And you're not doing that. But remember what I said. Whatever I promise is not going to be delivered overnight. I might not have 100% result, but I'm going to put 100% effort. Because people can entrust their faith in you and you let them down. Because by letting them down, you're letting God down. Power is by grace of God.
Fantastic.
You must not abuse grace of God.
Fantastic. Mr. Peter Obi, I want to thank you very much for granting this interview.
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, all right, Steve, over to you. What did you think of that?
I thought that was brilliant. I thought that you made good use of the short time
Yes, very short.
with the presidential candidate. But I think I'll comment more on the import of the meeting that he had with the entertainment industry. And I thought that that was an incredible opportunity given to him to share his dreams with that important sector of the economy, particularly at a time that he has been described as a mere Nollywood actor. So that was a Nollywood actor speaking with his colleagues in a language I believe that they understood, which is a good thing to do. You will have seen that since the campaign started, practically all the leading candidates have been moving about with entertainers and celebrities, left, right, and center. APC's candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I think was it yesterday, in Kebbi, said something about Arugungu, that he will return it. I know what Atiku Abubakar has been saying. He has had series of meetings with Nollywood people. So what Mr. Peter Obi did with entertainers was not a surprise.
Absolutely.
And I like the fact that he spoke about the contribution of that sector to the GDP, to the economy. It is not just about being popular. It is not just about developing a brand. It's about what are you bringing to the table. And when he shows understanding of what he knows, where you are, he says that this is now how the direction we have to move. Export what you are producing so that we can do a lot more and you can contribute more to the table. My worry, however, is that I hope that he won't end up like former President Goodluck Jonathan, who, by the way, did fantastically well with the entertainment industry. He pumped in so much money, possibly the biggest since 1999 when democracy returned. But I think he got carried away with the star power. It's the popular faces, musicians and actors who were more into him. I think part of what Mr. Peter Obi will need to learn, like other presidential candidates, is that yes, brand and star power are important. Celebrities are good.
Right.
They might bring in votes, etc.
Right.
But the engine room of that sector, the creative economy itself, is not just about performance. It's about those who are investing in that sector. It's about the hoteliers, it's about the restaurateurs, it's about the people who are organizing festivals. It's about people who are making things happen. He would need to focus more beyond individuals, beyond associations who can shout the loudest. It is beyond Nollywood and music. There is a whole load of ecosystem that he will need to sit down with. Majority of the people that I saw there are celebrities. I didn't see big hoteliers. I didn't see people who have invested in resorts, etc. There was a time that Nigeria, Lagos in particular, used to be the go-to destination in December. The whole idea, the whole concept of Dirty December was because something was happening.
Right.
And it wasn't happening just because there was star power. It's because there was an engine room. Today, most people are gravitating towards Ghana. Why do we allow that to happen? This is part of what somebody like Peter Obi and all the other candidates will need to look at. Revive the engine room so that you can make the creative industry. It's beyond entertainment. Entertainment merely defines it.
All right, so that gathering was for the entertainment and creative industry, and that is why majority of the people that you saw in that room were entertainers.
That's what I'm saying. The creative industry encompasses
Well, I think it was
entertainers.
majorly the entertainers at that point. So let me just clarify that, if I can, or if I am allowed to
We will
do
soon
that
have
as well.
somebody who's close to
Yes,
Peter Obi to speak to,
who will
but
do
we will
that
clarify.
as well.
Yeah.
But you know what I liked about the interview is that he also capitalized on his slogan, which which everybody knows. He wants to move Nigeria from consumption to production. And I like the fact that he highlighted that within the entertainment industry, particular, and the sports industry, and that's what he really wants to do. I also like the fact that he mentioned that famous quote of, if anything, it's my turn. It will be my turn, but he's not running on ethnicity or religion. He's running because he's Peter Obi. Everybody has been talking about my turn. I know you're smiling, but
He's
but
not running on Emiloko.
He's not running on
Okay.
Emiloko. That's what I wanted to say.
Fair enough.
And then he also talked about, how he's realized, or the Northerners have realized that, the votes shouldn't be based on ethnicity and religion. And I think that was a really good point that he highlighted in that interview. That's
good.
my take
That was
so
good.
far.
That
Yeah,
was good.
absolutely.